The mystery of the missing portrait. In the small yet elegant drawing room of Manor House, several guests had gathered for dinner. Among them was Hercule Poirot, who had been invited by the hostess, Lady Emily Wentworth, a renowned art collector. The evening was dedicated to the unveiling of a newly discovered portrait of her ancestor, Sir George Wentworth, which had been missing for over a century. "Monsieur Poirot," said Lady Emily with excitement in her voice, "this is a historic moment." The portrait of Sir George was found in a small antique shop in Paris. Now I will finally see the face of my great-great-grandfather. All the guests turned their attention to the large curtain covering the portrait. When Lady Emily pulled the curtain aside, something unexpected happened. The portrait was gone. Instead, an empty frame hung on the wall. "Where is the portrait?" cried Lady Emily, shocked. "It was here just an hour ago." All the guests began talking at once, creating chaos. Poirot, with his typical calmness, approached the empty frame. "Silence, please," he said. "This is a matter for the little gray cells." Poirot carefully examined the frame and the floor around it. He noticed small traces of mud on the floor, as well as a tiny piece of fabric caught on the frame. "Lady Emily?" Poirot asked, "who had access to the drawing room in the past hour?" "Only the servants," she replied, "but they are loyal and honest people." Poirot continued questioning the guests and servants, but nothing seemed suspicious. However, one detail caught his attention. One of the guests, Mr. Edward Graves, had a slight dampness on the edges of his trousers. "Mr. Graves," said Poirot, "why are your trousers wet?" Graves frowned. "Oh, that's just from the rain before I arrived." But Poirot knew the rain had stopped hours ago. He continued questioning Graves, who eventually confessed, All right. I took the portrait, but not for myself. Lady Emily is my aunt, and I knew the portrait was a fake. I wanted to spare her the embarrassment." Lady Emily was shocked. "A fake? How can that be?" Poirot smiled. "That is correct. The portrait is a fake. The real portrait of Sir George is in my office. I purchased it a few days ago, but I wanted to ensure its safety before handing it over to you." Lady Emily was almost speechless. "Monsieur Poirot, you are a genius." "No," Poirot said modestly. "I simply used the little gray cells." And so the mystery was solved, and the real portrait of Sir George Wentworth was finally returned to its rightful place.